Hey everyone, it's Jack here, TalkNorwichCity. Welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing very well indeed. We finally got to hear from Liam Manning. He was officially unveiled as the new head coach of Norwich City on Monday, the 9th of June. Feels about a month since the first kind of rumours were circulating. It feels like a long time coming, this. Good to finally see Liam Manning in the building next to Ben Knapper, and it feels like this is the point where we can finally start to get to work. There were a few comments from Ben Knapper saying, he was pounding the phone of Liam Manning over the holiday to discuss what's going on and all of the different bits and bobs that it will take to get this ship sailing in the right direction. It was a pretty long press conference. I think it clocked in at just under 50 minutes. Local press were there, etc. And I think these press conferences, particularly the first ones, are always quite, you get the classic quotes. They're all quite polished. But I think you can sense a theme and you can get a feeling of the mood and what Manning really wants to do here. I got the sense that this is an incredibly assured man that knows what he wants, where he wants to take himself personally in his career and also this football club. I get a sense that he's incredibly motivated and that he really wants to do well here. He doesn't see this as kind of the end goal and that he's home and he's kind of ready to settle now. This is very much a step in his career and a progressive step in his career. You look at his career so far, through the youth ranks at Ipswich and West Ham and then into the City group and then kind of through that and into senior football with Lommel and then comes over here and MK Dons, Oxford, Bristol City, now Norwich City. Clear progression at every step. He has quite literally worked from the bottom and now he's a head coach in the second tier of English football. That's quite a rise for who is still a very young man. And at every one of those clubs has, in the most part, taken them forwards. I think in every part, actually, taken them forwards. So, incredibly impressive up to now. Proven track record. This is undoubtedly his biggest job yet, and probably the job that comes with the most expectation. We shall see if he's up for it. I think the pleasing thing that I get a real feeling of is there has been a lot discussed about obviously his links to Norwich. He was born here. His family is still here. His personal life and maybe the reasons why he would like to come back closer to home. He made it very clear that that wasn't the reason why he's returned to Norwich. The reason was he likes the infrastructure, he likes the project, he likes Ben Knapper. He thinks there's a real opportunity to kick on here. And that's a real compliment considering he's just come from Bristol City where the squad was good. They've just got into the playoffs. Bristol City finished 6th last season. We finished 13th. That's quite a sizable difference. And he probably felt like he was moving the needle at Bristol City. So to jump ship and change project, yes, that must hurt as a Bristol City fan. I get it. It's frustrating when, you build a person or a player or a coach up and at what feels like the first possible opportunity, they go elsewhere. Trust me, I know the feeling as a Norwich City fan. We are a long way down the food chain in terms of what it's like in the kind of Premier League and the Championship. And we've seen plenty of coaches and players go over the year when we feel like it's going well. So I get it. But that was a nice thing to hear from Liam Manning. He sees this as an opportunity to progress. He feels like there's a real opportunity to do good things here. And that's nice to hear because it is quite easy as a fan who's in and amongst it every single day to get a bit doom and gloom. To look at this and go, we've just finished 13th. Probably our 2, maybe 3 best players are leaving this summer. We might be stuck here for a very long while. Look, that may well happen. This Liam Manning project might go really wrong. But if he's saying that, then that gives me confidence. I thought it was also interesting what he was saying around Borja Sainz, Josh Sargent. He knows the quality in this side, and obviously he had Ben Knapper alongside him. They are going to drive, if we didn't already know, which we should have done, they are going to drive a very hard bargain for both Borja, for Josh Sargent, if bids come in for Marcelino Nunez, any of the talent in this squad. If they leave, it will be because we got the right price that we deem fit for them. You look at Adam Eder, Johnny Rowe, Gabriel Sara, The list probably goes on under the Ben Knapper reign. When Norwich have sold players that maybe we don't necessarily want to, or the player wants to go, or we do want to sell them, we always extract a good price from them. And there have already been bids, multiple formal bids for Borja Sainz from Spain, from Italy, I think from Portugal. And all of them have been deemed unfit. Now, it's very early on in the transfer window, and look, I expect them both to go. I say I'm hopeful. I'm not hopeful that we keep either. I would be more surprised if we keep Borja than we do Josh Sargent. I think Sainz is definitely gone. Sargent, there is a 2% chance I think we keep. Marcelino Nunez, there's a slightly higher chance that we keep, but still probably unlikely at this stage. But as I say, we're still early on in the transfer window. There's still a lot of time still to go. Clubs will be coming in with kind of speculative bids at this stage. They're not going to go for less than we deem fit. With Sargent, we've got a bit more negotiating power. There's a longer time left on his contract. With Borja Sainz, there's a slight bit of urgency. I think, one, because he wants out, and we don't want players here that don't want to be. And two, he's entering the final year of his contract. So it's important that we don't let him go on a free. So that's in terms of outgoings. In terms of incomings, now the one that's probably the furthest along the line at the moment will be that of Harry Darling. Of course, Liam Manning has worked with Darling before at MK Dons. I am really excited about the potential of this one. I think he's still very young, experienced at EFL level, scores a lot of goals for a defender. Just exactly the type of fit that we want. Manning has, not always, but has on occasions played with kind of three centre-backs. We definitely need another one. Not overly sure on the kind of status of Shane Duffy's future, so we'll see what goes on there. But even if he does stay, it feels like we need at least one more centre-back. Harry Darling looks to be the one that they want. They were asked about Harry Darling. When I say they, I mean Ben Knapper and Liam Manning. There was a wry smile and comments, along the lines of, we really like him. Manning's obviously worked with him before. I think they're keen to bring him in, and I think by the body language, the smiles, and some of the comments, I think they think there's a good chance that Harry Darling will be a Norwich City player, which will be brilliant. He's available on a free. I suspect the wages will be quite punchy, but they're probably willing to go slightly above where they'd usually be at, just because he will be arriving on a free transfer. Of course, last contracted at Swansea. There's an offer on the table from Swansea. I think there's Sheffield United, Birmingham, Wrexham also interested, clubs with money. So we are going to have to pay up, and by the sounds of it, they are willing to do that. Look, this is going to be a really busy summer. This is the first time we've heard from Liam Manning as Norwich City head coach. I got good feelings. It will be fascinating to hear, as we progress through the summer and as players start to come and go, and we start to kind of get a bit more of an idea on the makeup of the squad for next season, just what the expectations are. I think, once again, the expectations will be top six from an internal standpoint. I think Liam Manning too have jumped ship. He will have been promised spend, and I think he will have been, told that top six is the expectation. He wouldn't be going from a club that have just finished in the playoffs to a club where he thinks that mid-table is the expectation. So it does feel big again next season. We are entering a summer where we say it every year, but it feels huge in terms of squad. You're going to have so much coming and going. I don't think there's the patience from a fan base that are willing to go through another transition season. That's not to say that if Manning doesn't get top six, that we'll want him sacked, but we do want to see a progression in terms of consistency of football, the product on the pitch, player development, all of the classic kind of things that fans want to see. Are we willing to sit here and for 12 months and kind of see us play slightly wishy-washy football and, edge our way to mid-table again? I don't think we are. So there's expectation, there's pressure on Manning's shoulders, and there is for Knapper as well. I've said it multiple times before. You can get one head coach decision wrong, you can't get two wrong. The Atanasios will be starting to hope for some kind of upward momentum now that they've been here for a little while. So it feels exciting, and I'm excited for the season ahead, but it does feel nerve-wracking as well, because it feels like there's a lot on the line this time. Last season was kind of like relatively low expectation, excitement in the air, unknown head coach, some of the players unknown. Can't have that anymore. We need to go out there. We need to start quick. We need to find something early doors. But overall, impressed by Manning's communication. No kind of groundbreaking lines in there. A little bit more colour around how we think the transfer window is going to go. Certainly a clear message in terms of expectation. He's not here to mess around. And I like the kind of, as always, the chat that Ben Knapper comes out with. What did you make of Liam Manning's outing? The first time we've seen him as Norwich City head coach. Let me know down in the comment section below. Plenty of stuff to cover this week, so do stay locked in to Talk Norwich City. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye-bye.